Siddur Snippets is generously sponsored by the Saka family and by Ayelet and Avram Foreman as well. We have begun the next bracha of the Amida, the bracha that deals with Yerushalayim. What's the first word of that bracha? What is it? Nobody's saying it with confidence because no one's quite sure exactly how to pronounce it. So I'll tell you a pet peeve and a mistake that people make. They say V'liyerushalayim, but that's not the word. That's incorrect. The word is V'liyerushalayim. So there is no shva under the yud. It's not V'liyerushalayim. It's V'liyerushalayim. So the first thing we can learn about the bracha is to say it correctly, is to pronounce it correctly. If you'd like a list of my other pet peeves, I'm happy to provide it after the Siddur Snippet. But that's the one for tonight. For the Siddur Snippet is V'liyerushalayim. And the question is, why do we have a special bracha? So we mentioned the Shibbolei Aleket, quotes the Medrash that gives us the historical precedent, as it does for each and every bracha of the Amida. And Knesset HaGedolah didn't make it up out of thin air. That's the historical precedent. But the real question is why? There are many notions and parts of redemption, of Geula. So why isn't a Semach David, we daven for Mashiach to come? Why isn't that enough? Where does Yerushalayim fit into the puzzle that we're dafka davening for Yerushalayim as well? So the Gemara Megillah on Daf Yud Zayin Amud Beis teaches the bracha for building Yerushalayim is placed on Knesset HaGedolah, put it after Ala Tzadikim. Why after Ala Tzadikim? Because Yerushalayim is where Tzadikim will reach their epitome. Yerushalayim is the home of Tzadikim. It is a place where the Tzadik can fully realize who they are, their potential, what they're about. Pasuk says in Tehillim, Tehillim Kuf Chav Beis, Shalu Shalom Yerushalayim, Yishayu L'Shlayu Avayich. That simply the glory of Tzadikim are most fully expressed and manifest and realized when they return to Yerushalayim. That is the demonstration and the affirmation of Geula, of redemption, when Tzadikim are back where they belong. A Tzadik is in the city of Tzadikim in Yerushalayim. So the Gemara says after Allah Tzadikim, after we talk about and daven for the merit of the Tzadikim and the rest of on that list, then we pivot to Yerushalayim, because that's where we want them, that's where they belong, that's when they are their fullest, that's where they have their greatest impact. But it's not only the tzaddikim themselves that we want in Yerushalayim. Perhaps it's instructive, the second word of this bracha. V'liyerushalayim, what's the second word? This one's easy to pronounce, or less complicated to pronounce. Ircha. What does Ircha mean? Your city. Now it's interesting, Anshe Knesset HaGedolah describe Yerushalayim not as our city. Certainly it's our city as well, although it wasn't Nischalkel Shvatim, it wasn't divided, no one really owns it, you can't really lease an apartment in it, it was Lo Nischalkel Shvatim, but it's not our city in that sense, but we describe it, we characterize it as Yerushalayim is Ircha, Hashem it is your city. Why is it Hashem's city? Because it is the place of the most intense expression of Shechina. Yerushalayim as a whole, there are laws that govern the Kedusha of Yerushalayim. Korbanos can be eaten there within Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim has a special status. And then, of course, within Yerushalayim, Harabayis and Beis HaMikdash and the different parts of Beis HaMikdash. But all, not only Beis HaMikdash from which it radiates the brightest, but also Yerushalayim as a whole is the place of the most intense Shechina. Hashem dwells, Hashem is recognized, Hashem can be found, Hashem's presence can be most felt in Yerushalayim. It's Yerushalayim is Ircha. It's your city. And essentially what we're saying, and the reason we invoke Yerushalayim, not just as Samach David, Mashiach as a whole, is Hashem, even if we're unworthy, even if we don't deserve Yerushalayim. But it's your city. And the world needs you, and you, Kiviyachol, need the world, because Ein Melech Below Am, for you to find expression in this world. So we want Hashras HaShechina, and a person is supposed to feel the pain. A person should feel the pain of the Shechina, and that's what Yerushalayim is all about, when one doesn't feel the pain of the Shechina. So we daven for Yerushalayim. We daven for Yerushalayim in our 3 times a day in the Amida. We daven for Yerushalayim in our benching. Uvnei Yerushalayim Yair Kodesh b'meirav Yameinu. We ask Hashem either Bonei V'Rachamav, the Gra, Bonei Yerushalayim without Barachamav, because of a particular pasuk. We daven in the Amida. It's what we daven under a chuppah in Meshkachech Yerushalayim. It is a part of our very consciousness, the role of and the longing for Yerushalayim. Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim Siman Aleph, the very beginning writes, what is the measure of whether you're a Yirei Shemayim? Is not how long your Amida is, or how long your beard is. Nothing wrong with either of those, or at least one according to my wife. But nothing wrong with those things. Of course a person should be pious, but what's the real expression, or what's the real measure of a Yirei Shemayim? Roi l'chol Yirei Shemayim she'emetzar v'doeg al churban beis hamikdash. Do you care? Do you worry? Do you feel his absence? Do you realize that everything going on in the world, the lies, the distortions, the bias, the discrimination, the targeting and the hatred of the Jew, of Israel, enemies that surround it, it's all an expression of Churban Beis Hamikdash. You don't have to wait, Lo Aleinu, for the 3 weeks of the 9 days of Tisha B'Av to feel that Churban. The last 8 months have been Churban. Day after day after day, even when you think it can't get worse, it's Churban after Churban. There's a war going on in the north. Everyone's pretending there isn't. There's been a war going on for 8 months. Ask the tens of thousands of people who've been evacuated from their homes that haven't been home. The fires that are spreading all over, and the missiles and the people in Tzfat. There's a war going on. It's Churban Beis Hamikdash. There's Churban every day. It's not only the 3 weeks, the 9 days in Tisha B'Av, and that's at Yerushalayim. So V'LiYerushalayim, Ircha, it's your city. And Hashem, when I have kavanah in that bracha, V'LiYerushalayim, I am demonstrating that I am Meitzar and Doeg al Churban Beis Hamikdash. I care and it matters. I don't just want to skip to Mashiach and then have some image of what it will be like with Mashiach. I want Yerushalayim. I want Yerushalayim to be whole. I want a Beis Hamikdash. I want your Shechina. I want undeniable, with no doubt or uncertainty, with complete confidence, the expression of Hashem. So this bracha of Yerushalayim, we fulfill this din in Shulchan Aruch in the very beginning, Siman Aleph, to be Meitzar v'Doeg al Churban Beis Hamikdash, to daven for V'liyerushalayim. And Mitzvah Hashem will continue with the introduction, the role, the significance of Yerushalayim, and then get in the words from there.